All right, hey, this is Philip at thebest3d.com, and I wanted to explore a little bit more on how to create foliage assets, particularly cumulative foliage assets, meaning those where you don't do just one brush stroke, where you do multiple brush strokes. And then on top of that, also comparing the quality or the appearance of it when you get rid of this shiny surrounding or the halo effect you might see because of the anti-aliasing against the white background. So here you see the slight defect, and then here it's been fixed. We call that correcting the pre-multiply on alpha. So let's first talk about just clearing this whole thing. Let's see, let's go erase. I switched the colors down here on my erase color. So my secondary color is black. I can clear to black. My selection, I have alpha overlay enabled. Now when it's black you don't really see much of a difference, but it will be useful to have that when we start drawing. In fact, let's go back to this. Let's erase to white, and now I'm going to see my particle brushes. So select the brush tool, go to the particle brushes, and here they are. And one thing we want to do is simply draw some sort of trees or twigs or bushes, or let's take one of the classic trees here. Let's take number 8, and you draw this thing here. And so by default it's just drawing the RGB channels, the colors. And what I'd like to do is actually have it collect the alpha channel as well, so that the branches and the twigs and the leaves are opaque, but in between these white background areas are not selected, and so they can be flagged as transparent. So the way to do that is simply to create here this additional option, create alpha, right? So when you do that, let's do a very short one, you can see now that it has the marching ants showing after the rendering is complete, and also you have the pink coloring on the background around it. Let's go clear everything. Well, that only clears the RGB channels. Control D will clear the entire selection as well. So what I can do, and you can do that here from selection, clear alpha, right? So let's do one in the middle right here, just very short one. Boom, let go. So now we have a first tree, and we want to create a family of 2 or 3 more of those, all in the same image with the selection. Right, now the problem is that if you do that with the foliage trees, and it works better with the regular particle trees, but with the foliage trees it's using this existing selection mask. And so if you draw that looks good, but then it's actually gone, and it only added the RGB channels over the prior selection mask we had from the prior brush stroke. Let me do that again here. If I'm going on the right side here, you can see that it's drawing there okay, but then when it's gone it actually did not affect that RGB channel after all. So what we need to do is temporarily store. Let me undo all this. Let's go back to this one, or even just go back further and start from scratch. So I'm going to go and draw a first one here, and this one I'm going to need to store the alpha channel. The way to do that is simply under the selection menu, store alpha. You now have a stored copy of the selection mask, right? That image, not the red, green, blue channels, just the selection mask, right? And I'm going to go and minimize this one. We probably don't need it anymore. So this alpha channel is for the first brush stroke, the first tree. Now I'm going to need a second one, so I'm going to go and clear this, and I'm ready to draw another one. Let's do it right here on the left side, going up a little bit. Let go. So you now have the second one that was not hindered by the prior alpha channel, and it is painting just beautifully over that. But now we need to combine the selection mask from the prior tree with this current selection mask, right? So since we stored it, we can simply add it back. That's what you do here. One click, boom, it adds it back to your current working selection mask. So you now have a combination of both together. And what you do at this time is just store that, and it would be kind of possible to go here and store alpha again, right? You could do that, and now you have another stored copy. This one was for the first alpha channel, for the first brush stroke, and then here is the combination of both. But you don't really have to do this. You don't have to go waste your time with the selection menu here. What you can do is simply put it back in here. This one is a single tree we don't need anymore. really, if you don't need it anymore, that's you want to be safe about that. But if you don't need it anymore, you want to just replace the image with the one you currently have here with the alpha selection. Just get alpha. Now you have the alpha that you had here with the combination, and you got that into this stored copy here. All right, so we can go and click the menu up here to get the focus back on the main application. Hit Control D, or maybe down here on the lower right when there's no actions there. Control D, that will get you the keyboard focus back. Or you can go to selection and clear alpha, but you're ready to draw a third brush stroke now. So I'm going to do another one here, maybe with a different setting. Let's go load, I don't know, some of the other, like classic 9, and boom, there you go. Oh, that one didn't have the alpha yet. Remember, we need to enable that. By default, they typically don't set the alpha. So let's go create alpha after selecting that new style. Put it right there. And so there we go. Once again, we can simply add the prior stored copy of the alpha channel to the one we currently have here. Okay, add it right there. So now everything is selected, all the trees that we had so far. And then we can go and get alpha again. And now you see you have a stored copy of the 3 brush strokes here, the trees from the 3 brush strokes. So you can keep going like that. You can click out here in the gray zone to get the keyboard focus, Control D to clear, draw another brush stroke. Now this one here had the unfortunate mishap of going out of bounds. You want to be careful to not do that. Let's do Control Z to undo that. Maybe that was one too many. No, that was just fine. Let's do that one more. Okay, there you go. So now we have a 4th one, and add the stored copy of the alpha channel, so everything is cumulative there, and then get alpha. Now you have again all of these brush stroke, the alpha channel from all of these brush strokes cumulative together. And so that's the trick there. And now the question is, well, how do we actually use this as a single image? You could pick it up as a custom brush. You can go here and use the selection, or the selected, you select it as brush, right? So that picks it up as a custom brush. You can also do that in a different place, and that would be with this tool here from the tool panel, the toolbar. You have the custom brush selector tool. Right, you click that, and then you get to actually interactively select what part of it you want to pick. But if you have a fairly nice surrounding, not too much, but still a nice little margin around it, I would simply go and pick it up as a custom brush. Now let's go do that. You can do that right here. You select it as brush. All right. That also clears the alpha, or at least it turns it off. I don't know if it actually cleared it. If we turn it back on, yeah, now it's gone. It has basically the whole thing selected again. So one thing that you may want to do also now is disable the OptiPo settings, the foliage brushes, and then at that point, if you enable the preview of your custom brush, show the custom brush preview, you should see that the custom brush that you just picked up. Right? When we did this brush, you selected as brush, it picked it up as a custom brush. And so that custom brush is really what we're looking to save. Now, first, before that we do that, we may want to store it and take a closer look at it. All right, so this is the second phase of this tutorial, and that's to identify, well, to see, is it really good? Let's go erase, let's switch the background to black. I mean, well, let's do first white. Let's clear it to white and then just stamp it down. Yeah, that looks good. All right. At first look, that looks fairly decent. Now let's go clear it, switch the colors to black, and erase to black, and do the same thing here. Okay, one click to stamp it down. Let's turn the preview off so it's not in our way, and then zoom in. And now here is where we go and see that there is a little bit of a glow around those edges. It may be stronger in some cases, but it's a little bit of a white halo. And that's because these lines were anti-aliased, and because we painted them, or we rendered them against a white background originally, they did get a little bit of that gray transition that ultimately goes to white on the outside of the branch, but it's picking up some of that color. So there is a way to fix that, and if you have that current brush selected, in fact, if you enable it for the preview, you can see it here too, right? In the lower right corner, you can see a little bit of white glow around those branches, and we can go and fix that. We can go to Brush, Pre-Multiply Correction, right? And what we need to do is, initially you'll see it as black by default, but we know the background color was white. So in that case, we need to give it a correction against white. And so now you can see that the glow is gone. Right? If you look at, hold on, let me stamp it down once. Something like this. Oh, there. And I'm going to store it also. Store. There you go. So we have a safe copy of this one. Now I can go and disable the preview, and we can take a close look here at before and after. Right. So here is some of the glow showing, and here is the same parts without the glow. Right. So we've corrected that that glow by doing this little trick, and so that was there under pre-multiply correction. All right, so that's something you want to do, because now you have a brush that is going to be more universally usable, not only against white background, but against any color background with much better quality effect. And also, you know, that's something that you might use this to actually use the same brush in different opacity levels. Right, if you enable the preview again, PRV, and let's say you erase to black, and you draw it at lesser opacity, and then you increase the opacity, right, and you have it a bit more opaque, and it looks like it's coming closer. Essentially, it's not fading into the dark of the fog or the night. And then here you have it at full opacity. All of these will look much better now because we don't have that glow showing around them. So I think that's it. Now, actually, that's not it. There is one more thing we need to do, which is to save this. Right now, it's in the brush. That's where we worked with it lately, and we would like to just save it. And so rather than saving the image and trying to be awkward about saving or restoring the alpha channel, I mean, you could do that too. Right? You could certainly see if you backtrack all the way to where the image was initially created, something like this here. Let's go turn the preview off. You could restore the alpha channel, replace alpha. So everything is there. Oh, no, see, it's a little bit off. I guess I was not on the right image yet. And that's the thing, is that you're going to have to, maybe that's the one. Yeah, let's see. I suppose this is the one, but again, I'm not 100% sure. And if you didn't store the image, it may be a little bit, yeah, see, the one on the left side here is off. So it's close. If you replace the alpha, it's just no dice. So it's close but no dice. So that's certainly one thing to do, is you store the image every once in a while, right? You want to be very meticulous about that. But the thing is, if you don't work, if you don't have that image anymore, you still have it in the brush with the alpha channel. That's exactly where where we put it together and cleaned the alpha to get rid of the glow. So really, what we should do is just forget about this one in the image here, whether it's white background or something like that, and really use the one that's in the brush, the stored copy here. That's the one we know we can use, and we can even adjust some of the parameters like hue, saturation. We could make it a little bit more of a bluish tint or a little bit more of a reddish tint. Right, so there is some parameters there in this stored copy that allows you to give it even slightly better appearance, reduce the saturation or make it brighter by increasing the value, make it a little bit darker by reducing it. So once you have that the way you want it, you can simply go to the brush menu and save it right from there. Right, so this is perhaps another example of where this program is somewhat brush centric, where you can work and save images from the file menu, but sometimes when you have what you want to save is in the brush, just go right there from the brush menu to save it. And there, save it as one of the image formats that does support the saving in 32-bit, meaning it will carry not just the red, green, blue channel, the RGB channels, but it will also carry the alpha channel, which allows you to flag the pixels as transparent or as opaque. So save it as a PNG, for instance, and you're all done. Or save it as a targa. If you see the default targa, and you'll have an option to choose 32-bit, make sure you choose that, because if you save it only as 24-bit, it will not have the alpha channel, it will not have the transparency mask. Some other formats you could use there, TIFF, BMP will, I believe, also save it with the alpha channel. So you should be good with any of those. I would always recommend testing that a little bit, save it with PNG, and then go test it in another program, like whatever your other programs are, where you put them together in layers, or flag this thing as a billboard polygon in a 3D world, test it, right? And then once you're satisfied that it has the right format, you can let go of it here on Howler. All right, so that's it for this quick discussion on how to create assets. Thanks for watching, and have fun creating your own trees and bushes and lots of other types of foliage with the particle brushes.